Okay, today, readers, we are going to look at this passage, The Frog, and we are going to use the skill of looking at the illustrations and really paying close attention to the illustrations and the other information that the author gives us in the text to better understand the characters, the setting, and the plot of the story. So remember, the characters are the people or the animals in the story. The setting, I did put a little drawing here of a house. The setting is where the story takes place. And then your plot is the main thing that happens in the story. What is the main thing that the story is about? So we're going to take a look at this story again. I'm going to reread the passage. Please read along with me. The Frog. Once there was a frog in a pond. He jumped out and went in the woods. He jumped and jumped. He saw a house. It was a big house. A girl was there. She said, "Father, I see a frog. I will give him some food." The frog ate the food. He sat on a chair. He liked the girl. She liked the frog. The girl and the frog liked to play. The girl kissed the frog. Now he was not a frog. He was a handsome prince. He and the girl got married. They lived happily ever after in the big house in the woods with the pond. So, readers, first we're going to take a look at characters. So, you're going to use your stickies. If you cannot write in your book, you can use this strategy with anything that you're reading, a passage on paper or a book that you're reading that you can't write on, if it's a book from the library or from school, or if you're doing something on the computer. If you're reading a text on the computer, you can use sticky notes. If you can write in it, then you can always take notes and just jot them down on your actual passage. But for this one, I'm going to use a sticky note. And so I put a little stick person here to help me remember that the characters are the people or the animals that speak and make up and tell the story. So what we're going to focus on today is we are going to focus on looking at the pictures. The pictures are the illustrations. These are the drawings that the illustrator did to help us better understand the story. And we're going to look here. So I know that the main characters, I know that there's a few characters in this story. We've got the girl, we've got the frog, and we've got the dad, right? But the main or most important characters in this story, we've got the girl. Out there. And we've got the frog. Okay. So we've got the girl and we've got the frog. And we can tell this from the illustrations, okay? And that the frog does become, I'm going to put in parentheses here, a prince at the end of the story, right? Now, we want to learn more about the characters. Looking at the illustrations can really tell us more. So what we want to look here is we can tell by looking at the smile on the girl's face that she is happy. We can tell by looking at the smile on the frog's face that he looks happy. They're sharing a meal. So we can tell, even though the author does give us the words here and tells us that the frog likes the girl and the girl likes the frog, we can also tell that they like each other because they are smiling. They're getting along well and they're sharing a meal. And that's in the picture. When we look down at this picture here, again, we can tell by their facial expressions that the illustrator drew that they are happy. We see that they are holding hands. So that tells us that they, you can see that supports this, that they fell in love. They're going to get married. They're going to live happily ever after. And that supports this by this picture. I want to take a note here. Because they're happy, I might put a smiley face. Okay. I might write that they are happy. And then the author also tells me that they are in love. So I might draw a heart. And then I'm going to say that they love each other. Okay. So we can use the illustrations to help us better understand what's going on with the characters. Now, let's look at the setting. I drew a little building here because the setting, just to help remind me that the setting means where the story takes place. So the setting can actually be more than just where, meaning location. The setting can also be where, when, meaning was it long ago, is it now, or is it future, or what time of year of it, where and when the story took place. So I really want to think about this. And I'm going to look at the illustrations. I can see that the story takes place at the girl's house, right? It looks like they're at the dining table. Okay. And then over here, I see there's a pond. So I can say at the house, in the dining room, that's often where you, the location where you call the room where people are eating. You might eat in your kitchen, depending on your location. And then here it looks like they're by a pond. Okay. I'm trying to think of when the story takes place. I can think of a couple things. When can be time of year, it can be long ago, present day, or past. This looks to me, based on the style of clothing that they're wearing, that this would be long ago. And setting can also be like time of year. So the setting can be, was it winter, summer, spring, fall? I'm kind of looking here at their outfits. Looks like I see the tree has leaves still. And so they're not wearing big winter coats over it. So depending, it could maybe be spring or fall. I can get a general idea just by kind of looking at the pictures, right? So when you're thinking of the setting, you want to ask yourself, what information is the author giving you and the illustrator to help you really understand the setting of the story? Now we want to talk about plot. The plot of the story is what is happening in the story. What is the main thing that happened? And you can answer the plot. If someone were to ask you, what is this story about? And you were to answer this in your own words, you could tell me the plot. The story is about blank. So I'm going to take, just by taking a look at the pictures too, I can see here, and I know I use the text, the story is about a girl and a frog who meet. And then at the end of the story, she kisses him, he turns into a prince, and they fall in love and live happily ever after. So my plot, I can say a girl and a frog meet. They play. The girl kisses the frog. He turns into a prince. A prince. And they live happily ever after. I'm running out of room here, but you get the idea. Okay, so this skill really looks at taking not just the text or the words that the author gives you, but also looking at the illustrations and the pictures to see if you can learn anything more about the characters, the setting, and the plot that maybe the author did not put in the text. Okay, and so you are going to try this now with your passage. Again, you can use sticky notes if you want, or you can even write directly on the text. Sometimes you can even label what's happening. You can even write the word happy above the character's face if you notice. But you also want to make sure that you're thinking about it. How do you know that the character feels happy? The author doesn't tell us it anywhere in here, but we can tell by looking at the facial expression of the illustrate of the girl in the illustration. Okay, now you're going to go ahead and try this on your own.